Hello, it's Ben with an update on my calendar project, an unrequested update on my calendar project. It has been a lot of fun. It all started because Scott Flansburg calendar really fascinated me. His proposed calendar is a vast improvement on the Gregorian calendar, or at least a worthwhile improvement on the Gregorian calendar. And it's actually gained traction in a world that's full of competing calendars. It's actually gained quite a bit of traction in a relatively short time, and I mean relatively compared to the centuries it took for the Gregorian calendar to become sort of the world standard. Uh, so it's an exploration of the Flansburg calendar. I also decided to incorporate lunar calendars as well. I want to incorporate the Hijri calendar that is used in the Islamic world and the Jewish calendar because there's a need for that. There's so many people that are devout in those faiths that are interested. So, anyway, I open it up. Right now, I've got it so it opens up at the cover page and it asks a dumb question. Just you going to learn because this has been a learning curve for me with Visual Basic. Click OK. It automatically takes you to an Astro data page where it's going to, and then it runs an Internet Explorer uh, event in the background, scrapes an HTML table from a NASA site, and populates a table um, with sky events that are visible in your time zone. And then it automatically takes you to the cover page, and you are up and running on my clocks models. It automatically opens based on your API in your local area, so it should open to your local time zone. Here's that Astro data table. So, and eventually I'm going to make that so that populates into a calendar automatically, along with holiday data. I've already done that once, but I've lost the data. So I'm going to redo that in a similar table, and I'll also make that so it populates into a calendar automatically. And then I've got a calculator page, which is just all the data, reference calendars, and some other, just a whole bunch of calculations that are going on behind the scenes, for my Hijri calendar and stuff. On the cover page, you see, the Flansburg date. It is currently Wednesday of the 1 month, or I call it the N a month, and the 10th day. So 1/10/2019. In the Gregorian calendar, it's 2/8/2019 for February 8th, 2019. In the Hijri calendar, the primary Hijri calendar, because there are many Islamic calendars, and I did not know that when I started this. I figured that there would be one that was pretty dominant, and there kind of is, and that's this one. And my pronunciation is incorrect, but Hijri al Qura, something like that. So that is the Hijri date is for the year 1440, the 6 month, and the third day of and the day of the week is Al Jum'ah, I guess. So pronunciation terrible. I've got a little model of an atomic clock here. It's not real, of course. It's just based on my system API. And it's counting down the seconds as the cesium atom surfs the, you know, micro. Anyway, we're surfing cesium microwaves. The cesium atom is surrendering its electron back and forth, back and forth. Seconds are clicking away. And then I've got a model of some minute clocks just showing the and it helped me, while I was writing formulas to visualize things. But the UTC minutes versus some time zones where you have a quarter of an hour or half an hour offsets. For example, this Australian one shows a quarter of an hour offset, and this one in India shows a half an hour offset. And very awkward. I don't know why that's still going on. It's you would think that with the world becoming increasingly small, that would eventually go the way of the dodo. But India is certain they're the center of the world, and perhaps they are. So anyway, time zone. So it's going to be based on your local time zone. All the clocks will run off of that. So I get your UTC/GMT/Zulu time, Zulu time, and populate all the clocks based on that. Here's your local time. The time in Mecca, since I've already done the Hijri calendar and incorporated it into my calendar. And then I've got the time in Japan, Beijing, New Delhi, Tel Aviv, and then all the primary time zones, the United States, including the islands and Alaska, Aleutian Islands and such, and Navajo and Arizona because they're also somewhat unique. Um, the calendar itself, as of right now, is not self-populating, other than all the formulas I've made that automatically put the days and the dates and all that stuff in. But the I had to put in all the holidays. I put those in the phases of the moon manually, and the Hijri months manually as well. Um, did that for now. Just like I said, I like visualizing, seeing what I'm looking for. But so what's really fascinating about Flansburg is the calendar is a 13-month calendar, 0 to 12. So we have a 0 month, a 1 month. I've named the months on based on things that are important to me that were work for me. But a lot of people just say 0 month, 1 month, 2 month, etc. So 13 months, 0 to 12, and you have 28 days in each month. Each month is precisely 4 weeks, and it gets rid of a lot of the problems with accounting and fiscal years and lost pennies and lost, paychecks. That's why it's gained a lot of traction. It really is a good calendar, and he calls it the human calendar because it is much better for working with the phases of the moon. It's not perfect; it's still a solar calendar, but it is much, much better, and that is much more suited for human use, apparently, because that's what we always did historically, and it's the basis for a lot of our ongoing calendar systems around the world. Um, it automatically, so it's all done in Flansburg, but I've got the Gregorian day of the week as well. So, Flansburg this Sunday on this 2019. Here it's Tuesday. This is the January slash 0 month. And 0 day is New Year's Day, and it goes from there. The 0 is really the way to go with timekeeping. In some computer languages, it's, Python, for example, that's what's used. And then I've got the Gregorian date right here, the Hijri date right here. Those are automatic. And then I've got day counters um, for that Hijri date as well. And then down here are the Gregorian and Flansburg day counters, which are identical. So that's the calendar. It's a lot of fun, Flansburg. For me, it's fun because I'm a total nerd. As far as the macros, uh, you won't be able to see them because you're using different software. I'm limited to Visual Basic, which means this is only good for a Windows user and only good for a Windows user with Microsoft Office package or at least the full Excel installed. But you can edit it and look at the code if you so desire and you have the software. I don't think I'm ever going to do this in Java. That would be the easiest way to convert and go and use Excel. And it would be usable with Office Libre and it would be usable on mobile apps, but I don't think that's really in the cards at this point. I think I want to learn Python. But anyway, there's a peek at the code. I've cleaned it up a little bit. There's some other modules as well, that run time zones and conversions. But that is that. That is the calendar in a nutshell, and that is not something you even asked for. But it has been a lot of fun learning Visual Basic. That is for sure. It's a pretty lightweight, fast, responsive language. I wish that it was more ubiquitous, but Microsoft has made it clear that they are not going to extend it to mobile stuff, for Android, and that's that.